Hey there, Parker Reed here, and welcome to PR Media, your home for everything movies and music through my eyes. And today we have a review of the brand new DC Comics movie, The Suicide Squad. The government sends the most dangerous supervillains in the world, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, King Shark, Harley Quinn, and others, to the remote enemy-infused island of Corto Maltese. Armed with high-tech weapons, they trek through the dangerous jungle on a search and destroy mission with only Colonel Rick Flag on the ground to make them behave. Going into this review, I was extremely excited for The Suicide Squad because James Gunn is involved and this is a soft reboot of The Suicide Squad. No, this is not the travesty that was 2016's Suicide Squad. Some of these names are getting a little bit egregious at this point. That movie did not work on almost any level. It was like a weird 2-hour music video fever dream with Jared Leto's weird gangster Joker. Honka, honka. It just didn't work at any level for me, even at the time. I know some people really enjoy that movie for some weird reason. Even at the opening night screening I went to tonight in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, this woman, she was in the row in front of me, and afterwards she turned around to her friend and she said, "You know, I didn't really like that movie at all. The 2016 one is a lot better." And I thought, what in the hell is wrong with this woman? Who raised her? Who do I need to go punch in the face? Because that makes no sense. She basically said, yeah, this one was just too violent and there was just too much going on. It's a movie. Of course there's a lot going on. How in the world anyone could watch both these films and think that the 2016 one is better, it's beyond me. But anyways, I really enjoyed The Suicide Squad just starting out. It gets a lot of things right that the 2016 movie just does not. 1, interesting characters. 2, interesting plot, and 3, it's not cringeworthy. My favorite thing about The Suicide Squad is the fact that it's just a lot of fun. It's fast-paced, there's a lot of good, quippy dialogue, and a lot of funny jokes. I mean, James Gunn is known for that with movies like Guardians of the Galaxy. And while the jokes don't hit 100% of the time, I think they hit about 90% of the time, so I was chuckling throughout. And the theater I was in was chuckling throughout as well, so I think the jokes hit for the most part here, where in 2016 they just totally don't. And I also like that this movie treats it like the 2016 movie exists. It just gets right into the plot. It explains away what's going on in like a line or two of dialogue, and it doesn't hold your hand. It just says, okay, this is what we're doing and we're going to go do it, and they get to it really quickly, and I appreciated that. I don't want to go through a whole reintroduction of what the Suicide Squad is. That would have just been a big old fat waste of time. Another thing I really enjoyed about The Suicide Squad is the performances. Idris Elba, John Cena, Margot Robbie, they're all killing it in this movie, and I think Sylvester Stallone stole it as King Shark here. He's absolutely hilarious. He's basically the Groot of the gritty DC world. A lot of these actors are given good backstories, and while we don't focus on them a lot, they are sprinkled throughout here, and it is nice to have a little bit of emotional stakes, and that also bleeds into another thing I liked about this movie is the fact that you do feel stakes. When you look at the cast of this movie, it's huge. I mean, actors like Pete Davidson.
Yeah, last night I switched her birth control with Tic Tacs.
Flula Borg.
Come on, Dirk, don't get hardcore. Shoot a swisher.
Jai Courtney returning.
I like being naked. I get a lot of things done naked.
All these people are in the movie, but don't be fooled. Some of those bigger names are not going to stick around for very long. And during the first 10 or 15 minutes, they knock off a lot of characters, and it really makes you start to feel a sense of gravity to this movie. It makes you invested because there are no rules in this universe. So anyone can die at any point. There is no plot armor, and I appreciated that about this movie because in a world of Marvel films, except for like Avengers Endgame, you do feel like there isn't a lot of stakes in these movies, but in The Suicide Squad, there definitely is. I love that this movie embraces just the complete absurdity of this whole situation and this concept in general, especially in the third act when they just go full ham and they go full absurdity. I enjoyed that. They really embraced it, and this showed just how crazy a Suicide Squad movie can be, and it ended up being a lot of fun. And while I really did enjoy The Suicide Squad, there were a couple things in this movie that just had me a little bit annoyed. First off, the first and third acts are so good that the second act just is kind of boring, and it really slows down for about 30 minutes. There's a subplot involving Harley Quinn that really feels like a weird offshoot. I don't think they really needed that in this movie whatsoever, and I think just because Margot Robbie is a big actress that she had to have a lot more to do in this movie. Because of the main cast in this, I think Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn just has the least to do, and she didn't feel that consequential, where in the 2016 one, she really felt like a leader of the team. And another thing that I didn't love about this movie, while overall it is inherent to the source material is this movie is about expendable characters, and I understand that. If the movie The Expendables didn't exist, that would probably be the title of this film. But I did get attached to some characters pretty quickly early on, and then they were quickly dispatched. I was going, oh, that's disappointing. I really wanted to see what they were going to do. They would have been an interesting character to have around, because some of the other characters that are around just aren't that interesting sometimes. So the pacing needed a little bit of work, and some of the characters did feel a little bit less fleshed out. But overall, I did enjoy the Suicide Squad quite a bit. I think it's head and shoulders better than the 2016 version. I'm glad we got this. They should have had James Gunn involved from the get-go. Thank you, Disney, for firing James Gunn and then thusly bringing him back, but giving him that little bit of window to do this movie, because it is great. It is R-rated. It's extremely violent. There's a lot of gratuitous violence in this, so don't bring your kids to it. I mean, there's heads getting chopped. There's faces just getting completely blown off. It really stretches that R rating really far, and I quite enjoyed this film. So I would give 2021's The Suicide Squad a solid 8.5 out of 10. Definitely another movie I want to see very soon, because I really enjoyed it. It's so much better than its predecessor, and I think you're going to dig it as well. This is a great new direction for the DC EU. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what you saw here, you can check us out on Facebook or Instagram, and like, comment, and subscribe if you so choose. My name is Parker Reed. You've been watching PR Media. Keep supporting physical media, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Ratatouille, what do you got?
Bird.
Now it. Stay off the comm.